Hey there, Avra here with Cami. Are you a teacher who's always wanted to create interactive digital notebooks for students? Well, Cami can help. Digital notebooks provide so many possibilities for teaching and learning. Students and teachers can use our audio feature, voice comments, or insert videos. They can also organize information with graphic organizers. There are highlighters, of course, text boxes. The possibilities are truly limitless. Let's take a look at not only how to create a digital notebook for your students, but also how to manage it through your learning management system. Let's take a look. So, the first thing you want to think about as you create a digital notebook for your students is what are you going to provide to them and what will be the framework for providing it? So, you want to think in terms of some kind of digital notebook template. These can be found in Google Slides. They can also be found in our Kami library. So, in the next section of this video, I'll show you how we can take a notebook from our library and push it into our split and merge feature. And then I'll show you how you can pull resources from your Google Drive or from your computer and add those to the notebook to initially get it set up for your students. This is the Kami Library. The Kami Library has oodles and oodles of free resources for teachers. At the time that this video is being made, you can see that there are over 2,100, almost 2,200 free resources, templates, activities, worksheets, graphic organizers, all sorts of stuff for your students. But let's stay focused on digital notebooks. I'm going to head over here to the bottom left to this search box, and I'm going to type in digital notebook. Now, we'll see that there are lots and lots of different digital notebooks from which to choose. I'm going to go ahead and choose this digital notebook right here. And what I'll do to push this in to split and merge is I'm going to use this icon right here. When I click it, it will put the digital notebook down in the split and merge drawer. If you'll follow my mouse down to the bottom right of the screen, you'll see this split and merge oval. I'll click it, and this area here opens up. Now I can push this straight into split and merge by clicking this button that says open in split and merge. From here, I could go to my computer, my Google Drive, my OneDrive, or even back to the library in order to add additional items to this notebook. So I'll head to my Google Drive, and then I'm going to head to a folder where I have some stuff stored. So here are some files that I want to include in this digital notebook. I'm going to click on them, holding down Control on my keyboard. If you're using a MacBook, you'll want to hold down Command, but a Windows computer or a Chromebook, you'll hold down Control. This allows you to be able to select more than one item at a time. Now, if you'll head down to the bottom left, you'll see the Select button. We'll go ahead and click Select. It now pulls each of those files into this split and merge area, and then at the bottom of our screen, we're going to click Next. Now you'll see that each file comes in and they're each on their own row or shelf. And this is a drag and drop environment. So what I can do is I can drag my files up into the notebook, moving things around as necessary. You can move back and forth. In this environment, you can, of course, use these icons that are below each of the files. These icons rotate the pages around. This icon will expand the page to give you a preview so that you can see what the page looks like. You can also duplicate a page. Or if you don't need those duplicates, you can use the delete button to delete them. So the next step as you're creating your notebook for your students is to think about the whole course of your unit or semester. Kami will allow you to add additional activities to a notebook throughout a unit or throughout a semester. However, the pages need to exist first in order to be able to do so. You can always add content to a page, but what you can't do yet is add more pages to the notebook. So in the next section, we're going to take a look at how to add some blank pages to your notebook before getting it ready to send to students. So the cool thing about the split and merge environment is that even after you've combined several files to start to create your notebook, you can always add more. So we can go down to the bottom right and use this circle with the plus sign. We could head up to the Kami library. We could go back here and say we've decided we need a Venn diagram. We could go ahead and search for that, and then select the Venn diagram that we want to use and choose Open with Kami. This will pull the Venn diagram into the split and merge environment, and then we can take this and drag it into our notebook in the appropriate space. Now, let's look at adding some blank pages to this notebook so that way we can add more information or activities for students as we move through the unit. What I'm going to do is go up to the Kami dashboard, and I'm going to create a blank page right here. When I do this, I'll choose the page size that I'm wanting to use. I'll also choose the orientation. So it just depends on whether I want this to be sideways or landscape or up and down portrait. And then, of course, I could choose a background color if I wanted. And after I do that, I'll want to choose Create. Once I'm here at the blank page, I'm simply going to go up and make sure that we called this blank, which it's perfect. It's already named that right now. And then I'll go over to the download button, which is this down arrow right here. And I'll choose Quick Download. From here, this will download it to my computer. Already did it. And now I'll go back to my split and merge, and I'm going to click on this circle. This circle will allow me to pull files straight from my computer's hard drive, or I could have gone into Google Drive or OneDrive. Let's use the plus sign with the circle, and we'll go and choose that blank page right there. And then I'll hit Open. So now this is the easiest part of all. All you have to do is duplicate this as many times as you'd like, and then you'd be able to slide these up and put them wherever you want them to go. So this is how you can start to set up your digital notebook for students. Remember, it's really important to add these extra pages. Even if you just add 20 pages at the end of the notebook that you may or may not ever use, it's always great to have them because that's how you'll be able to add more content, more activities for students. When we get to the management part of this process and we show you how to kind of manage these, you'll see how you can add additional activities for individual students to differentiate for them or push out activities for your entire class. Once you feel like you have all of the pages set up in your notebook just the way you want them, what you can do is head over to the left-hand side and give your file a name. Then you'll head to the Export button. From here, you can choose Open in Kami. Before we do this, though, let me mention one other thing. If you're working with several sections of a class, so for example, let's say you're a science teacher in either middle school or high school, you may want to duplicate this and then give it a new name for each period. Once you're done creating all of your copies and naming them, you can head up to the top right and choose Export All. From there, you can take multiple files and put them into either Google Drive or OneDrive. For the purpose of this video, let's go ahead and just export the first one, and we're going to put it straight into Kami so we can get it ready for students to use. We'll hit Open in Kami, and the file will open in Kami. So now in this section of the video, let's explore what it looks like to augment this notebook. Let's add accessibility. Let's add differentiation. Let's find ways to make the content in your notebook come to life. As we take a look at this notebook, you can see that the teacher has added all sorts of things on the pages as well as in the margin. The margin is a great place for comments. The comment tool in Kami can be found over here, and there are 4 different types of comments: text, voice, video, and screen capture. Screen capture actually allows teachers to be able to record their entire screen to show students how to do something. In this case, this teacher has added some voice comments. So instead of just giving students information and directions in writing, she's also explained verbally what to do. This allows students to be able to listen as many times as they need in order to better comprehend the instructions. Teachers can also add audio or video comments as a way to be able to reteach parts of the lesson or just further explain difficult concepts. All of these embellishments can be added to the pages in a digital notebook. And then once the teacher has it all set up and is ready to go, what he or she will do is push it into the learning management system that they use. So for the next portion of this video, we're going to show this process using Google Classroom. When we use Google Classroom, it's very easy in Kami to share or create an assignment with students. All we have to do is go up to the share button in the top right corner and click. And you'll see right here, we can choose Create Assignment. Now, we can give our assignment a name, and we can also write any instructions that are necessary. Kami and Google Classroom will make a copy for each student. We'll select the class. And if we want to push this out just to certain students, we can do that as well. Next, we'll head to Feature Control. Feature Control is the option for teachers to be able to choose which tools students will need in order to complete the assignment. This can be changed at any time. So if you've got students working on the first couple of activities in a notebook and all they really need is the text box tool, you can turn all of the tools off. Always give them the select tool. That's the mouse, the pointer to be able to move things around. But then you can also just give them the text box tool. Or maybe you want to add in the dictionary tool or the read aloud tool so that way students can have words defined for them and they can also have words read aloud to them. These can be changed at any time. If you don't want students to be able to copy and paste answers into their digital notebook, you can uncheck this box. However, if you're allowing students to take notes and add more information from other resources, copy and paste might be a nice function for them. We have another video that explains more about this feature control area, but just know that you as the teacher always control the digital learning environment for students when you're working with Kami. We'll hit OK at the bottom, and then we'll go ahead and choose Assign. So now let's take a look at what our students see. By taking a look at the student perspective, it helps us as teachers understand their view, what they see, and what it might feel like for them as they're completing the assignment. It makes us more empathetic educators. Let's take a look. Students will head to Google Classroom and head to the appropriate topic and assignment. They'll click on the assignment and choose Open with Kami. From here, the digital notebook will appear, and they can scroll through to check out the different activities that they'll find on each page. Here, they can use things like the dictionary tool to get new words defined for them. They can also use the markup tool to highlight sections of text or circle things. We also encourage students to use the comment tool. The comment tool will allow them to add some comments and take notes along the way. For those students that don't want to type notes, they could actually create voice notes for themselves. So, soil provides nutrients that plants need to live, and the water is important because it helps to get those nutrients from the soil up into the plant. So, as students are working and taking in information in new ways, making sense of it by taking notes or using the highlighting tools, they can work through the different activities that the teacher has asked them to do. And then, when they're done with these activities, they can actually head up to the top right and use the turn in button to turn their work in. Now, because this is an ongoing digital notebook, this will be something that the teacher determines whether or not they actually want students to use the turn in button and actually submit the work. And then maybe the teacher will turn it back to them. Or maybe it's just an ongoing notebook that they don't use this kind of turn in or submit feature. This is completely up to you as the teacher. If students do turn in the notebook when they're done with each section of it, they'll go ahead and use this turn in button. And then they'll get this little confirmation pop up that says, are you sure you want to turn it in? And they can hit turn in. At this point, we tell our students to watch for confetti. Confetti is a visual cue that will let them know they are good to go. Their work has been turned in. In the next section, we'll take a look at what the teacher sees once the work is done, whether it's turned in or whether it's not. So now let's take a look at what our students see. By taking a look at the student perspective, it helps us as teachers understand their view, what they see, and what it might feel like for them as they're completing the assignment. It makes us more empathetic educators. Let's take a look. Students will head to Google Classroom and head to the appropriate topic and assignment. They'll click on the assignment and choose Open with Kami. From here, the digital notebook will appear, and they can scroll through to check out the different activities that they'll find on each page. Here, they can use things like the dictionary tool to get new words defined for them. They can also use the markup tool to highlight sections of text or circle things. We also encourage students to use the comment tool. The comment tool will allow them to add some comments and take notes along the way. For those students that don't want to type notes, they could actually create voice notes for themselves. So, soil provides nutrients that plants need to live, and the water is important because it helps to get those nutrients from the soil up into the plant. So, as students are working and taking in information in new ways, making sense of it by taking notes or using the highlighting tools, they can work through the different activities that the teacher has asked them to do. And then, when they're done with these activities, they can actually head up to the top right and use the turn in button to turn their work in. Now, because this is an ongoing digital notebook, this will be something that the teacher determines whether or not they actually want students to use the turn in button and actually submit the work. And then maybe the teacher will turn it back to them, or maybe it's just an ongoing notebook that they don't use this kind of turn in or submit feature. This is completely up to you as the teacher. If students do turn in the notebook when they're done with each section of it, they'll go ahead and use this turn in button. And then they'll get this little confirmation pop up that says, are you sure you want to turn it in? And they can hit turn in. At this point, we tell our students to watch for confetti. Confetti is a visual cue that will let them know they are good to go. Their work has been turned in. In the next section, we'll take a look at what the teacher sees once the work is done, whether it's turned in or whether it's not. Okay, so as a teacher, we've created the notebook, we've created activities, we've pushed some of those activities out to our students, and our students have done the initial work. Maybe they've worked through the first 4 or 5 pages of the notebook, and now we want to check in on them. We want to monitor their progress. We want to do some feedback, some assessment, and then we want to add more to the notebook. Let's take a look at how we do all of that with Kami. So as the teacher, I'll head to my Google Classroom and head to the assignment that has the notebook in it. From here, I'm simply going to choose Open with Kami as the teacher. This takes me to something called Class View. Class View is absolute magic. This is going to be where I can see all of my students working on their notebooks at one time. If I scroll from left to right, you will notice students' names up here at the top, and you'll see each of their notebooks. If I scroll up and down, we'll see all of the different pages of the notebook. Let me zoom out a little bit just to give you a little bit better perspective. So you can see, obviously, this is not the view or the zoom that we would use to do any kind of real assessment, but this gives you a sense of what it looks like, right? Now, it's important to point out that at the top here, I have a drop-down menu where I can change the way that the notebooks appear. So right now it's sorted from A to Z, first name, but I could change this to submission status, which then would allow me to see students who are still working. And then we would see the students who have turned in their work over here. So you've got flexibility in terms of how you look at student work as the teacher. So let's scroll down. We're going to go past the activities that students have done so far. And here we have a blank page. Now let's say that we want to set up this next activity for students. Remember, this is why we created these blank pages. So check this out. What we're going to do is head up to the top right, and there's a toggle switch. This toggle switch will let us switch over into editing mode. Let me click. This takes us to the template file of the assignment. So this is the file that all of the student copies were created from. So again, I'll scroll down past the activities students have done already. And now let me add some more work so that we can have students do the next steps. So I'm going to head up to this YouTube page, and I'm going to grab the link for this YouTube video. I'm going to hit copy, and then I'll come on back over to Kami. Now I'll head to Add Media and choose YouTube. Let's say that I want to create an opportunity for students to watch a video and then maybe do some comparing and contrasting. So I'll go ahead and paste that URL right in there. And if I take a look at this and see that this is almost a 5-minute video, and maybe they don't need to watch the whole thing, I can even do some trimming and just set it up where students are watching a portion of the video. Completely up to you. I'll hit Insert Video and put that at the top of the page. Then maybe I want to use a Venn diagram and encourage students to compare and contrast plant and animal cells. So what I can do is go down to Add Media again, and this time I'll choose Graphic Organizers. I can go up and grab the graphic organizer that I want, bring it and put it on the page. This just works like an image file, so I can stretch it out. I can add language to it at the top with a couple of text boxes. And when I'm happy with the way I have the activity set up, all I have to do is go up to the top right and choose Update All. It'll give me a quick reminder. This is going to go out to every student's copy. And I'm going to say, yes, please, and we'll hit Update. So this is the way that you can push out more activities on those blank pages to your students. Let's go look. We're going to go back up to this toggle switch, and look, it says we're going to switch to class view. So now every single student to whom you've assigned this notebook, they all have the new work to do. So that was pushing out new activities to the whole class. You could also use that same functionality to push out mass feedback to everyone. So if, for example, students were all working on something on this page and you wanted to add some additional instructions, you could do the same thing. You could use the toggle switch up here in the top right, head over to the template file, put some new updated instructions, add a video, anything like that, and then update all. So that feature is amazing for updating everyone's work, everyone's assignment at one time. Now, let's look at the power of Class View to give individualized feedback. I can always use the comment tool on the left to be able to give text comments, voice comments, video comments, or even screen capture comments in which I record my whole screen to show students how to do something. So if Amelia here isn't sure how to do something and she hasn't gotten started yet, I can actually head over to the comment tool to voice comment, and then I can record and say, hey, Amelia, it looks like you haven't gotten started on this page yet. If you have any questions, let me know, but you're going to use the select tool to drag and drop the boxes around to label the parts of the plant. So you can do this and give individual feedback to students along the way. You can also head down to a blank page and set up a feedback page for everyone. So let's head back up to the top right, use that toggle again, and now we'll go down below the page that has the Venn diagram on it, and we'll add a feedback chart. So what I'm going to do is head over to the left-hand side. There's an icon here that allows us to open our annotation bank. I'll click on this, and I'll head down to the feedback folder. From here, I have an image, a screenshot of a feedback page that I want to add. So as I drag it onto the page, at this point, I can use the select tool to move it around and put it where I'd like it. I could even make it larger and smaller if I needed to. And now we can hit Update All again. Choose Update here in the middle. And now this page will be on my entire class as well. Let's go back up to the top right to Class View. And you'll see now we have a wonderful area where we can add feedback for students. So let's go here to Leslie's page and we'll add a text box. So you could give individual feedback to students as necessary as well. Keep in mind that the feedback that the teacher has given Leslie was in writing. Some students will be able to understand and comprehend those written comments easily. Other students might understand verbal comments better. So always keep in mind that you can use the comment tool on the left-hand side to create a voice comment or a video comment. Hey, Margie, I really loved the strategies that you used when you were taking notes today. Keep it up. Margie, I noticed that you haven't finished the drag and drop activity yet. You'll want to make sure to finish that up before you move on to the other activities in the notebook. So there are a variety of options when you're giving feedback in Kami. There are also some fun options, like in the Add Media tool, there are stickers down at the bottom. You can grab any of the stickers and drag them onto a page. Feedback is quick and easy when you use all of the different tools in the Class View environment. So we've explored how we can take an activity and push it out to every single student in our class using the ability to publish changes and edit the template file. We've also taken a look at how we can give individual feedback to students along the way using Class View as well. Keep in mind that if you need to add differentiated follow-up activities to each individual notebook for different students, you can do that as well. So for example, maybe Amelia didn't define these words appropriately in that first activity. Or maybe when Leslie was watching the plant and animal video, she didn't really understand the comparing and contrasting that was done in that Venn diagram. So the entire Class View environment with published changes and all of the interactivity here really provides teachers with a wide range of options for differentiating, for increasing interactivity and engagement and accessibility for students. If you have any questions regarding the interactive digital notebook process using Kami, we hope that you won't hesitate to reach out to us. We appreciate you watching this video, Thanks so much.